And we are back, coming down with our second and final match of the evening. It is going to be another match that maybe not quite as close as Platinum Heroes versus Berserker Esports. It is going to be Invictus Gaming against ABYDOS.
Here we go again. So many people were shocked when they saw that ABYDOS was down here in the lower bracket of Code A. There was some massive upsets, some insane results going on earlier in the bracket that meant that ABYDOS, they just weren't feeling it on the day. They didn't field Cure. They relied on a bit of a different roster, and they did struggle a little bit as a result. And now they're here up against the wall here. And even though they are the favorites, hey, they still got knocked down by Berserker Esports earlier, you know? Like, they haven't had the easiest time.
They did get knocked down by Berserker Esports, but let's be real, you know, Spats really came in swinging that day. Taking out Quanta 2-0 and taking out Creator as well in that ace match. Of course, you could argue that you know, maybe it didn't have to get to that point for ABYDOS, but Dimaga also showed up, was able to take a game off of Creator, and yeah, sending out the ace against the ace. Only one player could win.
Yeah, and I think what that series really did show us is that these teams aren't invincible. You know, ABYDOS and Mystery Gaming came in as favorites because of how insanely stacked their rosters were.
Oh, yeah.
But clearly, you know, some of these other maybe lesser known teams or considered lesser tier teams can fight back and can cause upsets in these team league formats. Of course, BreakingGG, MacSed, and XY have a bit of a tough ask ahead of them, but here we go in the top left-hand corner. We have that Zerg player for Invictus Gaming. It is BreakingGG.
And swinging over here in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, swinging all the way in the bottom right-hand corner, representing ABYDOS, we have our red Protoss player, Creator. How is it that I've only now noticed that it is BreakingGG and not BreakingGG?
Wait, what?
I have never noticed that there is another G in there.
Oh, yeah.
I always thought it was either BreakingG or BreakingGG.
I mean, it could be BreakingGG.
Oh,
Oh,
that's a sign.
it is.
Gonna reform.
He broke Good Game Gaming. He's the reason we found out.
He did.
Oh,
he broke patience.
No, too soon, Poppy. Too soon. I still think about patience from time to time. My mind wanders, and I think about patience, and part of me wishes that he would come back. That he will come back.
Yeah, he's in the military now, and I still think, you know, is he just sending himself in the military, you know? He just blinking randomly there.
Yeah. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. But regardless, we are, you know, here in this series, and BreakingGG is no slouch. Of course, Creator is the favorite. Creator has solidified himself, I would say, as the top 2 Protoss in Korea, especially now that, you know, Trap is gone, and of course, SOS is recently coming back, Stats recently coming back, but they still haven't cemented themselves. I do think that Hero and Creator and Classic are the top 3 at the moment in that region, and for good reason. You know, Creator, he did make it to the finals of GSL last year, if you recall.
Yeah, he did make it to the finals of GSL last year. He had a couple of semi and quarterfinal finishes as well in other premier tournaments, but most importantly, what I would say is that in WTL summer of last year, Creator absolutely carried Team Envy all the way to the finals. Wasn't quite able to really close things off there. You know, Rogue, Cure, and Dark were a little bit too powerful for them, but he took out players like Raynor, if I recall correctly. I believe he beat Bjorn at one point. Yeah, Creator when it comes to these team leagues, really is on another level compared to, I guess, the individual leagues is what I would say.
Yeah, and we've even seen that kind of come to fruition in a lot of these singular tournaments as well, like the KSL, like ESL Open Cup Asia. Creator is constantly going for these deep runs, and he is one of those players that can shut down someone like Dark or Solar early on in a bracket. So in PvZ especially, I do think he is a very terrifying opponent. He's one of the best. He dips in with his Oracle, and he spots a very fast lair from BreakingGG.
What does it mean? We're about to find out as, Creator gets that second Oracle and is starting to shift gears a little bit. Robo Facility is his follow-up, but it's nice and safe.
Yeah, definitely. He can start Immortal production with that if he so chooses. This can either be a Queen Ling all-in with a Nidus. This could be, if he takes more gases, could be going straight into a Spire. I'm really curious because BreakingGG is a really unique player. You know, he can be very aggressive as well. He could be doing anything off of this layer.
He absolutely could, and that's why it's so important right now for Creator to keep the Oracles alive and keep his eye on that main base. A lot of Lings, they get stuck out. There's the Nidus.
Yep, Queen Ling Nidus all-in is the name of the game from BreakingGG. Of course, the fast lair was already spotted by Cure, so he knows that something is wrong. We do have a decent surround on these depths, but they are hugging the wall here. They are reducing the surface area as best they can.
Yeah, it is about as efficient of a trade as you can really get when it's that amount of Lings against that amount of Adepts. As he'll Stasis Ward here will, I guess, actually not get that much lost mining time, but yeah, it's still super important right now for Creator to scout that Nidus. This is a very ambitious Nidus placement.
It's very brazen from BreakingGG. The boys are being pulled. We do see everything responding to this. The Oracle's showing up as well. Ooh, 2 Queens come out and they will go down for free.
Pretty much. I think maybe 1 Zealot went down over there, but no probe damage was taken at all. The Oracles from earlier on did survive. I believe they were recalled, and yeah, now it's just a case of Whack-a-Nidus for Creator.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we already have Immortal production because of the safe Robo that you did mention earlier. We do see another Nidus into the main base, but again, this gets easier and easier to defend. Creator just shutting them down one after another.
I didn't even notice Creator made a 4th Oracle. I saw it was on low energy, and I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But I guess that is one thing to keep in mind here. If you are Creator, you can't be relying purely on the Oracles to deny Niduses. They do have limited energy, and it's going to be interesting to see how he, what unit composition he really commits to from here on out. He's actually getting a Colossus.
Yeah, the first Colossus is going to be on the way. Phoenixes as well. The Nidus finally does finish here at the 3rd base of Creator. Lings are flooding on out, but we have an overcharge as well, and the overcharge is keeping everything alive.
Everything is alive. The Queens aren't really going down just yet. There was a lot of energy for Transfuse, but now that's starting to run out. Yeah, GG is called, and Creator takes a very quick game number 1. Yeah. That was so quick that our observer didn't have enough time to switch over. Or I guess just switch over to scenes really quick as well.
Pretty much, mate. I mean, again, the lair was scouted very quickly by Creator, and there's only a certain finite things that it can be off of a fast lair like that, so it was a little bit obvious. And Creator, that was just like textbook defense as well. You know, he never overreacted to make any void rays. He did commits a little bit further into Oracle production because he knew that, hey, you know what? This is a stepping stone. I'm working in Immortals. I'm going to get a Bay as well. I'm going to get Colossus to shut down all these Lings. Like, Creator seemed very cool, calm, and collected in his defense.
Yeah, he really did. But in contrast, I appreciate what BreakingGG was doing, but there were a couple of points where I think he kind of got a little into his own head in a way, like that initial Nidus placement right next to the gas geyser. I don't know if that was intentional or if that was just maybe a little bit of nerves getting on him and being like, I just need to throw up the Nidus wherever I can, as quick, wherever I have vision. Because, yeah, it really didn't take much for Creator. Just warp in 2 Zealots, get his probes in position, and he even killed 2 Queens that popped out.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate start for our Zerg player, but here he is once again in the top left-hand corner for Invictus Gaming. It is BreakingGG.
GG! And over here in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, right-hand corner of the map, swatting all the way in the bottom right-hand corner, we have a Red Protoss player representing ABYDOS, Creator.
Here we go. Again, Creator, a beast, a titan. One of the best Protoss in the world. And I don't know if you heard, Yaku, I did kind of break the news a little bit to Asher. But do you know about the origin of Team ABYDOS?
I remember... I remember this was explained. You explained this in like a previous stream or something like that. You were saying how it's like... basically like... the... whatchamacallit? Like... not the sponsor, but like... some of the management behind Team NV or something like that figured out it just got a bunch of people. You know what? Why don't you retell it? Because my memory is not reliable.
Okay. So the story that I was telling is that Quanta did shed some light on the team name. I was like, mate, where does ABYDOS come from? What's going on? And he's like, Google this, and he gave me a link. And ABYDOS is actually an anime waifu mobile game. Of course. And if you remember, it all comes together because if you remember, Team NV, they used to have waifus. Yeah, they had waifu like clan tags, clan decals. Like they would rotate between them, so it's all tying together.
Yeah, I remember for like 2 or 3 months after Creator made it to the finals of GSL, they just brought back the anime waifus.
Yeah.
As a favor or like as a reward.
Yeah,
for making it that far. It's like, yeah.
So if you're in the chat and if you're maybe a little bit of a weeb, if you're a waifu enjoyer, then don't fret. ABYDOS, they're just like you. Yeah, they like it.
You know what? It's all coming together here in WTL because ABYDOS is the team sponsored by the anime waifu mobile game. Recently, SC Boy announced that their next sponsor for WTL is Arknights, the people behind not Genshin Impact, the other mobile waifu game.
Yeah.
There's so many of them. God damn it.
Yeah, the anime that the waifus are taking over.
The waifus are taking over. It's no longer the World Team League. It's the Waifu Team League now.
That's what WTL stands for. Yeah, the Waifu Team League. Let's go. And
if your team isn't being sponsored by one of them, what are you doing,
What are you doing, mate? What are you doing?
It's sponsored by Sakura Clicker or whatever those anime games are.
Honey Pup. Yeah, there you go.
Honey Pup.
Oh, my God. I mean... well, that's why it's going to be that much more disheartening, right? It's going to be heartbreaking if ABYDOS isn't a part of WTL, just because it would be a great kind of union of these waifu companies that support StarCraft. So,
I thought you were gonna say it's going to be a treat for the waifu enjoyers.
Oh my God. The fan art's going to get crazy. But yeah. So that is a little bit of a fun fact, a tidbit for ABYDOS and the origin, or the sponsor of that team and what has become of Club NV. Really, they just shed their skin and they've revealed their true colors.
Oh yeah, they dropped all pretense.
Yeah.
The mask is fully off right now. They are out and proud about their waifu enjoyment.
They are. Oh my God. As we're getting into this opener, so far pretty standard Stargate opener from a Creator. He is sending across the map with an Oracle just to harass a little bit. Did see a standard opener from BreakingGG as well. He's going for a lair, but this time at a much more reasonable time. Up! Ooh.
Stasis does get a lot more drones this time, as BreakingGG was a little bit more preoccupied on the other side of the map, really trying to get a little bit of a delay on a potential third base of Creator, try as hard as he can to try to break through and get a scout as to what tech Creator is going for, which is actually super important right now. Creator is doing something I haven't seen in a very long time in the PvZ. That is a Templar Archive opening.
So it was a Stargate into Templar Archives, or Twilight Council and then Templar Archives. This is he's having fun right now. This is a very unorthodox and inefficient way to go into an Archon drop, basically.
I appreciate that you pointed that out. It is uber inefficient to go into an Archon drop. Archon drops aren't uncommon, but normally you get a Dark Train because, like you said,
it's faster.
It's faster. It's a little bit. It's not necessarily cheaper, but it's a lot less gas intensive. Is the thing, and as a Protoss player, you're not getting a lot of gas on only 2 bases.
Yeah, so this is kind of like a delayed off timing at double Archon drop here from Creator, designed to try and catch the Zerg player maybe droning a little bit too heavily against the Stargate opener, and we already see a Queen going down. The Lings are having a really hard time engaging. Oh, the Prism takes a lot of hits, but the second Queen falls. Oh no!
Yeah, Creator has to be so careful right now. He doesn't want to engage too quick into creep because one click from these Queens onto that Warp Prism will completely shut down all micro potential for these Archons. It's going to leave them so vulnerable.
Oh god, it really will. And thankfully, Creator does barely keep he barely keep that Prism alive. He's able to get away with those Archons. And you know what? He got some decent damage. He killed some Queens, he killed some Lings, he forced a reaction, and he is coming back in.
Yeah, getting a couple more drones here and there. BreakingGG was already planning to get the Hydra Den, but yeah, now he's definitely pressured into making Hydras and utilizing these Hydras before they've really hit their final form, so to speak. You know, Muscular Augment's still on the way.
Yeah, it is on the way, but now that the Hydras are out, the harassment from this Prism, I feel like, has been neutered, and Creator should be coming back home with it to save those Archons. I believe they did end up coming back home. I think they were even recalled back home instead. Meanwhile, we do see a transition point. Still no blink. Instead, we are going into charge.
I am keeping my eyes glued on the mini-map light. I have no idea where that Warp Prism of those Archons went. So, yeah, okay, they came home. Oh, wait,
yeah.
I'm sure they came home. Yeah.
We can see the Prism.
Yeah, you can get a little glimpse of the Prism over there. Yeah.
And now from here, we're going into charge the Archon. We already have that Templar Archive, so Storm is on the way as well. And again, this is something that no one else really does, like this kind of wonky build that Creator has gone for. And that is why he is scary, because Creator, for lack of a better, no pun intended, he can be a very creative player, especially in the PvZ matchup. He just does things his own way more often than not. Even when Hero is dictating the meta, Creator's like, you know what, I'm still just going to do my own thing instead.
Yeah. Hero's too mainstream for Creator,
True. Creator is confirmed a little bit of a hipster.
It's waifus.
Yeah, there you go. And Storm is on the way. We have our 4th base as well. And this is going to hit hard because Storm annihilates Lingbane and Hydra.
Yeah, it's just about the worst army. Well, I say the worst army composition BreakingGG can get against what Creator's building, but it was actually more of a reaction from Creator, I think. Obviously he did have the Templar Archives early on. He did just want to get a bit of an off timing with those Archon drops, but once he confirmed Hydras are out, yeah, he knows that he doesn't need to adjust too much. He can just research Storm and get a strong gateway army.
Yeah, exactly. So his kind of adaptation or his transition is so seamless from Creator, and BreakingGG is kind of playing into his hands a little bit. He always had the card to play to go into that Storm if he ever needed it, and now he has confirmation that he does. And I don't believe BreakingGG is aware until now, where the first Storm is revealed.
Yeah, even standing in the Storm with that Zealot, because you know what? He's got a shield battery. Why does he care?
Yeah, he's fine, mate. He's fine. And now, seeing that Storm, that should trigger BreakingGG to throw down the Lurker Den. Because staying on Lingbane Hydra at this point is a really difficult thing to pull off. It's not impossible, but it is a very fragile army.
Yeah. I mean, it's not impossible, but you're using Lingbane Hydra to get to Lurkers, essentially. Is what it usually is. You can still win engagements with Lingbane Hydra. You're just never going to be able to follow up on that without Lurkers.
Yeah, I mean, really going to be relying on surrounds. And to be fair, Creator doesn't really have too much of an army here. We just see a bit of a Romai on the left-hand side is going to distract the Lingbane. Meanwhile, Creator is reinforcing on the right. How many High Templar does he have? I believe he only has 2, so he doesn't have that many Storms.
Yeah, he only has 2, but they are 2 high energy, actually full energy, High Templar over there.
Oh yeah, which means they will have 2 storms each, so definitely something to respect and be afraid of. As we have another Zealot run by here on the left-hand side. We see BreakingGG trying to set up a Baneling run by as well. We'll see if that's able to get any damage as Creator's moving in with his main army. He's going to be clashing with the Lingbane.
All of these storms. That, again, it's just a textbook example of how to utilize Storm against Lingbane Hydra. Every single Zerg unit completely evaporated, and now it's just a handful of Hydras left against all of these Archons and all of these Immortals.
It's just like that, like 40 supply died. It was crazy, and we still have more storms where that came from. Banelings are rolling on forward here, but we still have plenty of Archons, plenty of Immortals, and Creator is just breaking on through.
It doesn't happen often, but I feel for these Banelings, man. They just want to connect with anything, but they just evaporate to the Archons.
Yeah, they just want to explode, and they cannot. We do see 19 drones going down. These Link reinforcements may be enough to clean up these Immortals. It's gonna be close, but we still have more reinforcements coming across the map.
Yeah, honestly, I think the Brootlings are doing a better job of cleaning things up, but it doesn't matter. In the end, GG is called. Creator starts off the series with a very strong 2-0 for ABYDOS waifus.
GG, well played. Creator showing off how good his PvZ is, why it is world class, and yeah, Creator was really in his elements. I don't think at any point in this series was he breaking a sweat, and I do think that today he is in form. If they would ever need him for the ace match, I do think Creator would be a really good pick here, as he does do well for his team here in the first match.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you there. BreakingGG, I appreciate that he was, doing things his own way a little bit. He, I think, recognized that he wasn't the favorite going into this series, so I appreciate the Nidus play early on, and, I appreciate that he did play a little bit normal in game number 2 as well, but, yeah, I mean, it's just Creator. He is starting to have a bit of a reputation, like you said, as a bit of a PvZ sniper.
Yeah, that is kind of his matchup that he can thrive in the most. Oh boy, but with that, we're now going to be moving on to the next series here. We're going to be seeing another Protoss player from Team ABYDOS, a different one though. It is going to be Nightmare going up against MacSed.
Ooh. Again, a bit of unfortunate. I feel like this is a bit unfortunate of a lineup right now for Invictus Gaming. Obviously, they weren't privy to knowing who was going to be fielded at which slot, but we just finished up a PvZ, Creator being that Zerg sniper. Now we're getting into a PvP when Nightmare's a bit of a Protoss sniper as well. I still remember to this day, 2020, the year where Zest and Trap really were the indisputable top Protoss players, and all of a sudden Nightmare came in and knocked them out of tournaments, major tournaments, really, just because he was that good at the PvP matchup.
Yeah, Nightmare, he can really excel here in the PvPs. We have seen quite a bit of it recently as well. I'm just quickly trying to double check some results, and yeah, Nightmare has been, recently he did actually come second, of course, in Sparkling Tuna Cup last night. So he's got, some pretty solid accolades behind him. In the recent Wardy TV tournament, he actually 2-0'd Creator, his own teammate. You're talking about how Creator is more of a PvZ sniper, but here in the PvP, Nightmare was able to overcome him. So it just goes to show how solid that is. Also, a couple of weeks ago, Nightmare 2-0'd MaxPax as well in a PvP.
Mate.
And there's a lot of hype around MaxPax right now.
Yeah. He, that was a while ago, I was kind of writing him off a little bit. I was like, MaxPax, I'm sure he's still really, really good, but, lately we haven't been able to see much of him. And all of a sudden, in the Pigsty Invitational, he beats Clem, he beats Maru, I believe, and is once again the indisputable top Protoss player. But without further ado, we're getting into this PvP. We're in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, starting all the way in that bottom left-hand corner. We have our blue Protoss player representing IG. It's MacSed.
And it's our right-hand corner representing Team ABYDOS. It is Nightmare.
Oh
boy, here we go. Regardless of who is good and who excels in PvP, it's still a PvP, and it is also on altitude, so anything can happen. Speaking of anything happening, for the time being at least, both players are going to be going for gate expand setups.
yeah. Nice and standard coming out here, you know. It's sort of sussing out. Each of them is just sort of sussing each other out.
Yeah, if you recall, things did diverge in the last PvP we casted when Spats opened up with a 2-gate opener instead on this map, but alas, neither one of these players is kind of taking that bait or is trying to be that aggressive, at least initially. Both players are just going to be looking to expand, and likewise, both players are going to be trying to delay each other as best they can.
Yeah. As much as possible. So, I was going to say, this probe, a little bit of trouble right now for Nightmare, but he knew exactly what he was doing. Throws down the pylon block right at the last second.
Ooh, and the probe of MacSed takes a couple too many hits, is going to be forced out of the natural, and Nightmare may be able to cancel his Zealot. He may not even need it. MacSed comes back in. He did regen his shields.
He did. Not quite able to get the block once again, but at the very least, he was able to force out the Zealot from Nightmare. Nightmare's not going to be able to get that refund with a cancel.
Yeah, exactly. So both players, they have their bases on the way. You know, slight delays on both sides, but nothing too major in the end. They're able to get their bases up eventually. I guess the biggest difference is that Nightmare is actually opting to make an Adept across the map.
Interesting. Yeah, follows this up not with a Stalker, which is what is normal and is what MacSed is going for.
Yeah, so with that, Nightmare's going to be a little bit more aggressive. He's going to be looking to try and shade past the Stalker and get into the natural, into a mineral line. The Zealot as well avoids the Stalker, somehow slips past it.
And will be able to get into a mineral line completely uncontested. Yeah, it is a full wall.
Yeah.
He's on
the other side.
Yeah, thankfully there was already a Stalker in production. We'll be able to come out and, you know, punish the, or not punish, but attack and prevent the Zealot from getting too much damage done. But this is a lot of lost mining on the gas. This is not a good opening whatsoever from MacSed. Not the end of the game, but it definitely puts him considerably behind.
Yeah, I mean, it was honestly on Nightmare to make something happen with that Zealot, and he was very proactive with it. Again, MacSed, he made a Zealot, and he unfortunately wasn't able to do anything with his. So, yeah, kind of a great way to make use of the tools at your disposal for Nightmare. Just kind of make the best out of a rough situation. We see him go for a Twilight Council, and Nightmare goes straight for a Dark Shrine.
What more did we expect, really, coming up from his bread and his butter?
Yeah, exactly. We see Nightmare going to be setting up a proxy pylon as well to go for those fast warp-ins across the map. And this could end the game, I worry here for MacSed. He has a Forge on the way for fast +1. This does mean that he has access to cannons if he does see this coming ahead of time. But there's no reason for him to start a cannon right now. There's no reason for him to get any detection, and he doesn't have a robo.
Yeah. Or a Stargate, for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
There is, just about nothing here for MacSed. He does have a lot of units. He can definitely body block to the best of his ability, but he'll never really be able to deal with, or he won't really be able to deal with the Dark Templar anytime soon.
Yeah, this is going to get really scary. He does have a sentry at his natural, so if he sees the shimmer, and it looks like he has his own position as well. Oh, yeah. No, he has no energy. He just went for a hallucinated scout, so he may be able to scout what's happening, but the DTs are being warped in. There we go. We do have a cannon as a response.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it is going to take a little while for that to finish up, but with these, with these hold position stalkers, with that shield battery, these ZTs shouldn't be able to break on through, but it is keeping the entire army of MacSed back. Nightmare is pushing forward, completely canceling this third base of MacSed.
Yeah, so it was a bit of a blessing in disguise, of course. The hallucinated scout did confirm the Dark Shrine, and MacSed was able to prepare, but alas, he has no way to really deal with it. He's forced to cancel his third base. He is stuck on 2 bases.
It could have been a lot worse.
True.
To put that in perspective, it could have definitely been just flat out the end of the game right there. But yeah, needless to say, Nightmare, who was already ahead in this game, is going to maintain his lead and continue to tech up from there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's got +1 on the way. He's got his third base as well. MacSed is going to be active on the map. This army is spotted by the DT, and Nightmare is going to be able to respond as well. Ooh, the DT comes back in once again to harass that third base, and we may see another cancel.
Potentially, if things, if again, there's just no detection there for MacSed. He is now getting an observer out, but there's still plenty of damage that one DT can do.
Yeah, exactly. As it swiped away at that third, it looks like maybe he has left that location, just applying a little bit of pressure for the time being. Observer is now out, and MacSed can now hunt down these DTs.
Whew, okay. MacSed finally has a little bit of breathing room, and we'll see what he uses that room, how he grows with that room, as he is finishing up his third base, continuing to get his upgrades, slowly getting more production facilities. All this is going on though, Nightmare. Charge is about a quarter of the way done. 4 more gates are about to finish up. He wants to keep up this momentum.
Yeah, he is going for a very gateway-based composition here. He's going to have Charge Loss. He's going to have Blink Stalkers. He blinks on forward, snipes 1. Oh my god, he snipes the Observer as well, which means his DTs may have a bit of an opening if MacSed doesn't replace that right now. Yeah, he's focusing on rebuilding. Oh god! Snipes the Observer.
Aww. Yeah, so MacSed should be safe from DTs for at least a little while longer. You know, his one Observer that remains shouldn't be sniped.
Yeah, should be safe against him. He's getting his third base saturated. As MacSed saturates his third, Nightmare is quick to take a fourth, so he's just continuing to maintain his economic lead. And his upgrade lead is going to be continued as well as the DC slips in or gets 3 probe kills.
Not bad. Side, yeah.
And he gets away as well.
Yeah. That's the important part, yeah. You know, he's come in and get a little bit more damage, which ain't bad.
Yeah, definitely. It does add up over time as we do see Nightmare pushing out across the map with a bit of a timing. Charge is now done. He has +1 as well. He's going to try and power his way through here.
Yeah, MacSed does have a slight upgrade lead, but it doesn't really matter that much when there's this many charge hits out in favor of Nightmare. We do have that Warp Prism as well. MacSed has his shield batteries. He still has a battery overcharge available. And Nightmare actually splits up his army a little bit.
Yeah,
isn't too ideal.
I believe the overcharge was used at that third base. It has now run out, but it looks like MacSed has enough to push back Nightmare.
And just like that, the army supplies have evened out. Nightmare shouldn't be able to break MacSed from this point on, but he doesn't really need to. He's delaying a 4th base for as long as possible, and he just finished up a 4th base, his own 4th base back home.
Yeah, you know, Nightmare, he's going to be able to saturate his 4th. He does start +3 much faster than... Oh, sorry, MacSed actually starting +3 much faster than Nightmare, but here we go. He's coming back in now with even upgrades.
Yeah, he still has to contest a little bit with that defender's advantage of MacSed, or does he, as he slips into the natural base and has a massive warp in of Zealots? MacSed's gonna hurt somewhere.
He's forced to recall. The shield battery is going to be going down, and because he's forced to split up his own army, Nightmare can push in towards the 4th.
Did I say Nightmare's gonna hurt somewhere? I meant Nightmare's gonna hurt everywhere, or MacSed's gonna hurt everywhere.
As
Yeah,
he
that's
is,
just a lot of damage.
yeah, he's gonna be able to eventually clean up these zealots, but Nightmare just pounces on the 4th base, and we should. Oh no, actually, we don't quite see it cancel yet. MacSed is fighting to keep it alive.
Yeah, there's no Warpism over here, so Nightmare can't really reinforce his attacking army. And Fender's advantage is a lot to try to overcome here.
Oh, it really is, as we do see a Zealot run by hitting the 3rd base of MacSed once again, just keeping his attention split here, and that this is giving an opening for Nightmare. So many Stalkers actually were left idle. They weren't a part of the fight.
They weren't at all, and I only just realized that MacSed doesn't have charge yet. That's why a lot of these Zealots weren't able to get their damage in.
Yeah, exactly. He is a little bit behind in that respect. Nightmare doubling down on his DTs now. We have Blink on the way. Shadow Stride is being researched.
You love to see it, or at least I do, and Fear Dragon does.
He really does. He really does. MacSed has been doing a really good job at defending, but my god. I have to eat my words there. GG gets called. The DT Zealot run by is too much, and Nightmare takes game 1.
Yeah, honestly, MacSed was doing a really good job at defending one position at a time. Towards the end of the game, however, Nightmare was coming in with the triple prog attacks over and over and over again. MacSed he was going to hurt somewhere, and in the end, he ended up hurting everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. It was just too much in the end. MacSed was overwhelmed by the aggression of Nightmare, and a lot of that is because of Nightmare's economy. Not just that, but also the way he was able to tech up as well. MacSed unfortunately did end up, avoiding, or, he just didn't prioritize charge the same way his opponent did. He was more focused on his forge upgrades that never fully kicked in, as he wasn't able to really make use of +3.
Yeah, not quite, unfortunately. Nightmare was able to end the game before then, and this was a pretty quick choice coming out from MacSed. Ancient Cistern is what we're going to be following this up on.
Interesting choice here. I do think that the size of the map did kind of lead to MacSed having a bit of an easier time defending. As you saw, there was no prism to reinforce, so Nightmare, he was just warping it back at home and just rallying units across the map. It took him a while because that, MacSed, he was able to muster up a defense a little bit faster, or at least muster up a defense in time. So he's going for another large map.
Yeah, a map that isn't quite the same size as Altitude, but I think in terms of length, Ancient Cistern is a little bit longer. Altitude, a bit more girthy in that regard.
Oh yeah, Altitude does have that girth. Meanwhile, Altitude a little bit longer, and I wonder if he has something special here in store for Nightmare, because there's so much room to make use of. You can go for some proxies, you can go for a proxy Robo or proxy Stargate or even proxy Gateway as well. You can be aggressive, but everything that I say about MacSed, that applies to Nightmare as well.
Yeah. It is a mirror matchup, so everything you can do, I can do.
Better?
Yeah, well let's not get that. Let's not go that far.
True.
Maybe.
True. Maybe.
I think Nightmare definitely did prove that he can do certain styles of PvP better than MacSed.
And the other important thing to actually bring up, let's not forget as well, Nightmare, not just Nightmare, ABYDOS are currently up 3-0. Nightmare needs to win one more game, and if he does, then ABYDOS will be advancing on into Codes.
Yeah. IG will have a second shot tomorrow, but you never want it to really come to that, do you?
Yeah, they're going to be up against the wall as the loser of the series goes up against Berserker Esports.
Yeah. A team which I honestly think is favored against both of these. Yeah, depending on the lineup, obviously.
True.
Depending on who they send out. But I would, in general, say that Berserker Esports is favored against both Invictus Gaming and ABYDOS, but definitely more favored against IG than ABYDOS.
Yeah, I do agree with that. Oh boy. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see if MacSed can bring it back. I believe he can. MacSed, he is a very solid player, and we saw that it took quite a bit to actually finally bring him down. He was keeping up for quite some time against Nightmare. It was quite impressive to see that. But alas, we need something more than just keeping up. We need to be able to overcome. We need some spice added to the Protoss.
Indeed, we do, which is why we're here on Ancient Sister, and we're in the top right-hand corner map, starting all the way in that top right-hand corner. Our blue Protoss player representing IG, MacSed.
And the bottom left-hand corner representing ABYDOS Gaming, it is Nightmare.
It's a bit of a struggle getting these intros to sync up with with our observer, but we manage.
Yeah, you gotta be quick, puppy. That's the thing. That's our biggest complaint about WTL is that the intros here, the swoops, they don't let it marinate. They don't let it settle. They don't like make the turn and do the angle and do the swish.
Yeah, they don't like do it smooth, They don't like they don't let the intro soak up the flavor of the marinade.
Exactly, and that's the best part. That's the fanfare.
Yeah. Oh, that's like the little sprinkle on top,
That's the garnish,
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I'm hungry.
I'm very hungry.
Now I just want to marinate some chicken,
I am way too hungry to marinate chicken. I would just eat the chicken raw.
Oh, you're gonna just do a WTL and you're just gonna put it in.
Yeah.
It's gonna do it.
Just gonna insert it.
Yeah. As we are getting ready for game number 2, and so far, pretty standard openers. We do see 2 gate openers from both of our players, and that is because we don't have, unlike Altitude, we don't have a ramp leading into the natural, so it is not safe to go for gate expands unless you are Max Packs. Of course, Max Packs loves to do it. And we see a divergence here in the initial units from our players.
Double Adept coming out from Nightmare. Stalker and a Sentry coming out from MacSed, which is about what we have come to expect, really.
Yeah, so a very safe opener from MacSed. It is safe because with this Sentry, you can force field the ramp if you're ever in trouble, and you can also hallucinate and scout across the map to make sure you know what your opponent is up to. Meanwhile, from Nightmare, we can see that he's not really too concerned with scouting or being safe. He wants to be aggressive.
Yeah.
Oh.
2 Adepts already making their way across the map. 2 Stalkers, which normally would be at home to defend against a potential counter harass, but I wouldn't be surprised if Nightmare sends them out for it as well.
Yeah, on top of that, Nightmare delays his Nexus. He's going for a very fast Robo, and there's a 3rd gateway. I was assuming this Robo may just be safe, just to go for fast Immortals, but with that 3rd gate, I believe Nightmare is going to be making a Prism and going across the map.
I am absolutely on board with that. I think it's going to work out really, really well for Nightmare. There is a Stargate on the way for MacSed, but it's still less than halfway done, and it's not like he's going to get Phoenixes or Void Rays, right? Right?
Yeah, he shouldn't unless he's able to scout the 1-base play from Nightmare. He shouldn't be going all in with this. He should be able to expand off of this as well. He is setting up for that expansion. But there's that Prism, and we do have 3 gates for Nightmare, so he will have better or more production than MacSed. So he's going to be looking to overwhelm MacSed in numbers to try and micro and basically use Blink. Oh my god, he delays his natural even more. He's going straight for a Bay.
Disruptors?
Yeah.
Let's go. MacSed somehow, I was going to say somehow has recognized this and is getting a Void Ray, but you don't want Void Rays against Disruptors, do you?
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure MacSed, we didn't get to see it on screen, but I'm pretty sure he did go for a hallucinated scout with that Sentry, so he knows about the lack of natural, he knows about the 1-base all-in, and Nightmare is already here knocking on his front door. Void Rays are what you want defensively. They are better than, say, an Oracle or a Phoenix, but he doesn't see the Warpin in his own main.
Yeah, it's a very, very, not the most committed Warpin into the main base, but it is enough to deal a lot of probe damage. It is enough to send the entire army back. Or half the entire army back, really.
Yeah, it really is.
Right at the end.
Yeah, both adepts do survive. Nightmare is expanding behind this, but he was able to deal some economic damage because he got scattered, because he saw the Void Ray. I like this from Nightmare. He backs off. He doesn't overcommit.
Yeah, he has built a disruptor because he knows that he's not going to be able to get damage with it. He is instead getting his Twilight Council, getting his natural base, and seeing where to go from here.
Yeah, and after this, I do think that MacSed he should be in a better position because he has the faster Nexus, he has a higher worker count as a result, he has Void Rays, which are quite solid defensively, and Nightmare kind of did a lot, and he hasn't really been able to get much here with it. He is starting his first Disruptor, but like these early Disruptors, they need to pay for themselves.
They absolutely do. He knows that MacSed is going to be defensive for a little while, so there's no reason to get Disruptors right now for defense. He just is looking to deal damage, and he has to deal damage to catch back up economically.
He really does. The first Disruptor is already out. I imagine the Prism is going to be making its way back home so we can go for some Disruptor drops. But going for a Disruptor drop is really risky because there are Void Rays. I think there's 2 Void Rays as well, so it's going to be really difficult to find some damage. Before that happens, the Prism has those Adepts again, and he's looking to go back into the main.
Yeah, try to see what he can get done. When behind Dark Shrine.
He's getting every tech. He's getting everything.
Yeah, might as well. I mean, he can't really utilize the Dark Shrine just yet, but yeah, you might as well.
You may as well, maters. The Adepts once again shading into the main base. Nice quick pull this time from MacSed. We do see the Prism is able to get the hell out of there, though. It is not chased down. Oh, but yeah, that Dark Shrine is going to be an interesting one. I mean, MacSed doesn't have a Robo. He does have a Stargate. He does have access to some form of detection.
Yeah, a little bit with Oracles potentially, and if he needs to, he can get an Observer later down the line.
Did he cancel the Dark Shrine?
I think he did. Actually, I'm looking at the minimap and trying to determine the size of the red dots.
Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure the Dark Shrine should have still been being made. So I think it should still be it should have still been in the production tab, but I think he canceled it. I think. Yeah.
We'll go with that unless we're proved otherwise. If our lovely observer would like to look at the main base,
we'll get there eventually, man. We'll get there eventually. Oh god, as we do see, there we go. Yeah, he did cancel it in the end. So I imagine maybe another hallucinated scout made it into the main base, and as a result, Nightmare doesn't want to invest into something that just isn't going to pay off. So he did cancel it in the end. We see a bit of a faster third on the way from Nightmare. And that's a lot of disruptors.
Yeah, so many disruptors that, even with blinks, it's going to be difficult to really dodge. And Novas, they are very exposed, but a hot pickup will save the life of at least one of them. None of them have gone down yet.
Yeah, the disruptors are all safe and sound for the time being. Hot pickup from Nightmare. We just see a Nova going to be forcing a blink for the time being. And Nightmare he has been able to skip his way into some really high quality tech. But again, he can't really push out with it, I don't think. Not yet, anyway.
Yeah, he pretty much has a defensive army for the time being. He's going to have to wait a little while, get his upgrades in order, diversify his army a little bit as well.
Yeah, he has to be very careful with these trades because he is in an upgrade deficit at the moment. MacSed already has +1. He's already working on +2 as we speak. And we see him going for his own Robo. It's a very late Robo. Bear that in mind. He never had one to begin with. So he may be looking to get into disruptors of his own. It's going to take a while to do that, though.
Yeah. Which is why he needs to do whatever he can to really keep Nightmare back. That's why he's being as active as possible with all these Blink Stalkers.
Yeah, he's trading relatively well here, especially because he does have that upgrade advantage, but he still can't overcommit just because of these disruptors. He can never really press his advantage. So in the end, MacSed, I love this. He has the map control. He is going to be expanding and taking a faster fourth.
Oh, okay. Didn't think we would get that many. Didn't think we would get that many bases in this PvP, but there we go.
There we go.
We're actually getting a macro game.
Yeah, for the most part, we are going to be getting that macro game. Nightmare, he's working on his second robo for double disruptor production. We have Charge on the way. We're finally getting +1 as well. There's the bait for MacSed, but again, it's still going to take a while to get those disruptors.
MacSed is, yeah, he is just a master at blinking at the last possible second. My body is primed for a heart attack because of a massive purification nova, but MacSed, he's built different, you know? He can dodge.
He loves that adrenaline rush. He wants to wait for the last moment before he pulls out, living life on the edge. Oh boy. But yeah, with that life on the edge, he's able to buy some time, and you know, the Bay is going to finish up in a couple of seconds. He can start his own disruptors soon, and then he's going to be able to catch up. We may even just have the game going even longer from here. We may even see players try to go into Sky Toss. Up!
Who looked vulnerable, but were able to zone themselves into safety.
Yeah, they are dodged. Yeah, that's a fast fifth as well. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so this game is going to continue for quite some time.
Yeah, I mean, both armies are skirmishing. Nightmare does have a bit of a supply lead, but he's running into a Zealot army towards the north, towards the south. He can't really gain too much ground either. The first disruptor is coming out. And oh my god, at the same time, we saw a massive Zealot warping into the main.
Yeah, MacSed turned the tables a little bit from game number 1. Nightmare is able to get rid of the Warp Prism, but there's still that presence here of Zealots. Actually, a little bit idle, unfortunately, but...
Yeah, we were forced to recall back into the main base, so the Zealots are going to be cleaned up. At the same time on the front lines, MacSed did snipe, I think, 2 disruptors of Nightmare, so very nicely done in the midst of all the chaos. MacSed was able to take advantage of that situation, still behind in the disruptor count, but nowhere near as big of a disparity as there once was.
Yeah. Being behind by about 2 disruptors is pretty negligible, all things considered.
Oh yeah, definitely. As the Stalker army is coming in once again, just baiting out those Novas, just trying to find a way in. Nightmare now is making 2 disruptors at a time. Now has that second robo up and running, and there's that Dark Shrine. This time should be cancelled. Should be safe.
No. We'll see. We'll see if that Dark Shrine really finishes up. MacSed is making a little bit of headway here towards that 4th base location, but you know, Nightmare still way ahead when it comes to army supply. MacSed does get chased back, and Nightmare doesn't actually take much economic damage. Nightmare's so close to that 5th base of MacSed. If he just realizes.
He doesn't know. He hasn't seen it. Not yet anyway. Meanwhile, Novas are going to be going off. MacSed, he wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, a little bit distracted over towards the north with this skirmish. Very good opportunity for Nightmare to get a couple of free stalkers.
Yeah, there we go. 6 Stalkers and 2 Zealots going down. Meanwhile, MacSed's army is left idle here. He is looking, he's paying attention. Novas are going to be going off on both sides.
Oh, the snipes, however, were a little bit better for... Actually, I don't know. I can't tell who sniped the Purification Nova was better, because Nightmare did take a little bit of damage there, did lose one of his disruptors, but MacSed just doesn't have any more disruptors. At least in that army.
Nightmare shot first. He shot like half a second before the Novas of MacSed, so his Purification Novas were able to connect instead of his opponents, and he does take a better fight there. And now Nightmare is maxed out. Now he can finally assert himself on the map. He is about to tie up the upgrades. He's still down 1, but the top left-hand base is looking pretty exposed.
Like so. Most of his stalkers are consolidating towards this top left-hand base. And take it out and recall back home. He is pretty much on a path to victory.
Yeah, so we're going for like a pseudo base trade here. MacSed he's sending everything across the map. Novas are going to be connecting as well. He's taking a very efficient trade, but at the same time he's going to be losing his fresh mining base as well. Nightmare, is he going to recall back home, or is he going to keep pushing and try and take another base? Well, the DTs!
The DTs do come in to not quite save the day, but they at the very least are able to chase back these stalkers. Fourth base will be rebuilt, but it wasn't as important of a base compared to MacSed's.
Yeah, I mean, it just means Nightmare doesn't have to turn around. He can just keep on pushing. The DTs are perfectly safe back at home. A second base goes down, and we can just keep on going.
That was honestly a pretty smart decision from Nightmare. GG is called, and ABYDOS will qualify for Code S. A very smart decision there from Nightmare not to recall any of his stalkers. He knows that on a map like Ancient Cistern, once you get momentum, you don't want to give it up, because once you do, it takes so long to go across the map again and get back into that commanding position. GG, very well played by Nightmare, but kudos to MacSed for making game number 2 especially as close as it was.
100%, mate. 100%. Shout out to MacSed for hanging in there in both game 1 and game number 2. Oh, but Nightmare had, again, a very peculiar opener. Remember, he just rushed into the Robo, rushed into the Bay as well, something you don't see too often in PvP, and was able to, leverage that tech advantage quite well in the end. Congratulations to ABYDOS as they take the series 4-0, but we still have one more best of 2 match before us. Unfortunately, Invictus Gaming will not be able to take the series anymore, but XY has a chance to prove himself here against Cure.
Yeah, XY has a chance here to really show off the mind. The man.
Yeah. Exactly.
We're getting into Ancient Cistern. We're in the top right-hand corner map. We have our blue Terran player representing IG. It's XY.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, representing ABYDOS, it is Cure.
I think one of my biggest regrets here, or the biggest missed opportunity here in WTL Lite, is I don't think we've been able to see a match between XY and Bratok, the two oldest currently active players, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the chess match between the wise men, that, that's something that I don't know if we've ever really experienced that before. I know they've both had very long careers here in StarCraft, but have their paths crossed in the past? I don't know if they have.
You know what? We may be able to see XY versus Demaga, though, potentially.
Yeah.
Demaga, not quite as, how do I say this politely?
Wizened?
Wizened, yeah, wizened as Bratok, but still pretty damn experienced.
Yeah, 100%, mate. 100%. Oh boy, but we'll see how he does here against, again, one of the best Terran players in the world. Cure looking so in form recently, did dominate Nightmare in Sparkling Tuna Cup last night with a 3-0 victory. Of course, claiming the title of Sparkling Tuna for the week. And even outside of that, even in the KSL, even in all of these other online events, Cure has been popping off.
He really, really has. Ever since the end of the year, I don't know, or not the end of the year, sorry, but ever since the WTL Winter Finals, Cure's just been on another level. I guess part of it is that motivation to really show off how good he is, how much potential he has, just because he is on a new team. He does, want to prove that he's still got it, and he definitely still does. We'll just see if this is going to be a continuation of that.
Yeah, for those who maybe didn't watch the last season finals of World Team League, Cure did all kill KyZ Gaming. He beat Raynor, Spirit, and Oliveira, the world champion. Of course, the World Team League finals was after Katowice, so Cure just popping off me.
Yeah, he all killed, and then he left the team. He left for the waifus.
Yeah, it's hard to resist the waifus. I understand. The allure is there. It's definitely there.
Yeah. Oh, is it? It is.
As we are getting into pretty similar builds overall from both of our players, pretty similar Hellion counts as well, but Cure is the defender. He already has his army pre-split. He is waiting for his opponent to show up. So even though we have the same amount of units, Cure has to be very careful with how he engages. It was XY who was already pre-set up.
Yeah, he even has a couple of Marines over here just to be extra safe. Cure is trying to find whatever vulnerability he can and to, just try to focus down one unit at a time if possible. But actually, really good micro coming out from him. Takes out 2 Reapers just like that. Hasn't lost a single unit yet.
Very nice control coming out from Cure, despite having actually a unit disadvantage, as you pointed out, because there were the Marines available as well for XY. Cure was able to just out-trade his opponent and then back off.
Yeah. Just like so. Cure should recognize by now that, my opponent has a lot of units. I can't really push in, but actually, this is a really important scout.
No!
This is a really important catch because that medevac. Oh man, that medevac could have completely messed up Cure's base and Cure's day, but it gets completely shut down. Cure doesn't even lose the Cyclone to that. The tank count is completely reset, and my god.
At least XY saved the medevac with 1 HP or 10 HP remaining and a single Marine, but that's some copium, mate, because XY just lost so much there. Cure is now in the driver's seat. He can chill out. He is free to do what he wants, and with that, he will have a marginally faster 3rd CC on the way.
I mean, 20 seconds, it can definitely be impactful in a mirror matchup like that, and considering the fact that Cure hasn't slowed down when it comes to his tech and when it comes to his other production facilities as well, he is the first player to get Stim. He is the first player to have 2 Ravens out, and they're just going to slowly gather energy. All of the initiative is with Cure right now, Ball is 100% in his court.
Yeah, it really is. And now I just, yeah, there are ways to come back in TVT, of course, especially when it comes to outpositioning your opponents. So, XY can definitely take a better engagement as the game goes on, but a lot of the early game momentum does kind of go the way of Cure. You do see he's already being set up here at the 3rd base to make sure he can deflect any kind of push. XY is sending out another drop across the map. I believe he was able to repair that medevac.
I think he produced another one as well, if not mistaken. So a double drop of Marines is... Oh, actually, no. Wait. No, yeah. Wait.
Right. Drop is getting ready to go in towards the main base. Cure more in position at his 3rd, so he could be caught off guard here as XY is maybe getting ready for a multi-prong attack. He does have 2 Ravens with his main army, so he can go for some disables and try and break this siege line. Oh,
yeah. Cure, though, does send a Marine forward. He is well aware about this attack force coming towards his front, but a single medevac of Marines is coming in to the main base, and Cure moves the Cyclone away at just the wrong moment.
Yeah, the Marines, they do unload, and they're going to be able to get a lot of SCV kills here. 5 SCVs, 6 SCVs going to be going down. This will be cleaned up eventually, but oh my god, look at the target fire.
Oh, he's fighting with the SCVs, yeah, and that's not a good idea ever when you're the defending Terran player. Cure loses 10 SCVs. Surprisingly, not that far behind when it comes to the worker count, but this one drop is what's keeping XY in the game. He wasn't quite able to follow this up with a multi-prong. He is forced back home, but he's in a much better position than he was 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, much better position indeed. And now we do see XY getting ready here for his main push. Cure, he's not going to take this lying down, though. He's going for a double drop across the map. This is lined up with 1-1, but it is spotted by that SCV.
Yeah, XY has a little bit of time to get into position. I say that, yeah. He's got his Vikings. He's got his medevacs that get disabled immediately. Only 4 Marines unload from this entire army, and that was a very heavy investment, honestly, from Cure.
Yeah, 2 full medevacs do go down. XY did lose 1 Raven. Is he going to lose his 2nd Raven? Oh!
Not quite. Maybe if there was one more Marine that unloaded from the medevacs, everyone would have gone down, but yeah. Very smart decision coming out from Cure.
Mm-hmm.
From XY, sorry.
Yeah, exactly. You know, XY just completely shutting all of that down. It did cost him a Raven, unfortunately, so he will have a little bit less micro potential when it comes to the next major tank battle that will be occurring. It's going to be on him to try and take that advantage away from Cure, because Cure still has those Ravens. He may be behind in supply, he may have a smaller army, but those Ravens do kind of, they do pack a massive punch here with how they can impact the way a fight can go.
Yeah. Tanks and tank positioning is usually the deciding factor when it comes to Marine tank versus Marine tank, but those Ravens can definitely throw a wrench in. It can definitely do a lot to throw a wrench in those plans.
Yeah, they can influence the battle quite a bit here, but for the time being, Cure is going to be relatively defensive because he lost two full medevac drops. He knows he doesn't really have as much supply to work with, so he's going to be slowly looking to expand and take a fourth base. Fourth base is on the way. He does have a bit of a timing here with 2-2. 2-2 will finish up a little bit faster than his opponents, as we are getting a little bit of lag here.
Is it me?
Yakuza, you? Yaku.
Oh, see? Oh.
As there we go. Thankfully, it looks like it has cleared up. And again, if it does impact the game a little bit too much, then I'm sure the admins will be going for a pause. Meanwhile, XY going for another double drop.
Very important double drop.
No. This is not a good time to lag.
Oh. It's the Observer.
Yeah, it's the Observer. The Observer is lagging out, and we can,
man.
Yeah, we've been there before. You know, everyone's been there before.
I've been there before when I was observing and I had to drop. Yeah, it's definitely an unfortunate situation going down there. But like you said, we can resume from replay, and we have a little bit of time here. You know, we are fine with holding up. We are fine with holding up the game a little bit to allow the internet to be fixed. If not, then I think somebody else might have to take over.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I do believe the WTL team does have multiple observers, so they can send in someone else to kind of cover for the observer if there's just a little bit of, you know, latency issues. We may be going on a bit of a break though. I don't know how long it's going to take to really sort this out.
Potentially. We'll definitely see.
Yeah, we'll keep our eye out on that. Again, it is really unfortunate just because like there's about to be a big fight. Like things are about to pop off. XY and Cure, they're about to collide in the middle of the map. Cure, he has the Raven advantage. At the same time, though, as that fight is about to happen, we do have that double drop from XY headed towards the natural of Cure. So a lot is about to happen at once.
Yeah, everything was gonna come down.
Yeah.
And everything is about to come down. You know what? This is just suspense. Is what this is.
Yeah.
Building the tension, Bobby.
The tension is building, and oh boy, hopefully we are able to continue the game itself here. But you know, now that we have a little bit of time to ourselves, I want to give a massive shout out to some of the sponsors of the tournament. Chinese stream is of course being casted on Douyu. You can see the little shark mascot. There's Hypergriff, which I believe is a game.
That's
developed.
the waifu, yeah.
Yeah,
that's the waifu sponsor.
Yep. The title sponsor of WTL is Hypergriff, the game developers behind
Arknights. That's the name of the game. Yeah,
there you go. Arknights. Of course, shout out to TGI Fridays, the best place to go after a break. And here we go. The game is continuing on. It looks like we may have actually missed out on a fight that did happen. It looks like a lot was actually going on. Oh my god.
Yeah, this base is going down. XY getting a lot of damage with the drop, but also pushing in with his push. And Cure has nothing standing in the way between himself and the main base of XY. Meanwhile, over here, back on the other side of the map, there are still a couple of tanks for Cure. A lot of Marines go down
Oh
for
my god.
Cure to all those tanks. And we're in base trade city.
Yeah, we're going for a massive base trade here. Who knows how that fight happened in the middle of the map, but somehow we ended up in this situation. We do see Cure taking control of the main base of XY. Meanwhile, the boys are being pulled, and XY is being surrounded.
There's no buffer, there's no buffer, there's no buffer.
Oh, there is no buffer. The boys are actually going to be able to kill all these tanks. They are forced to unsiege. The Vikings are forced to land as well.
51 SCVs have gone down for Cure and 32 for XY. XY does have another base. Yeah, another base towards the south. This is full on base trade mode. I think I want to favor XY because he does have that base and he does have Vikings if everything gets lifted up. But oh man.
The reality is though that XY hasn't broken the main. He hasn't gotten into the main base. He hasn't gotten on top of the production, and it looks like Cure has found that last mining base of XY as well. Cure is shutting everything down, and he holds onto his main.
That's, the really important part. GG is called, and Cure will be taking game number 1, but oh man, did it get close. Especially towards the end there. Oh man.
Yeah,
man.
It's a bit of a shame that, again, we weren't able to see that kind of, that important moments that was about to occur when there was a little bit of lag. So we kind of missed out on a portion of the game itself, but we came back in time for the finale, and the base trade was a really chaotic one. Unfortunately, XY couldn't quite get into the main in time.
Yeah, not quite. If you did, then, maybe it would have been a completely different story, but yeah, I think all of his Marines did get taken out. It did get taken out, so he wasn't able to have much of a buffer for his tanks, and he wasn't able to have that mobility to really take a forward position, siege up his tanks, and force Cure to give up a position like that. Cure, on the other hand, plenty of reinforcements back home, plenty of tanks. Didn't quite have the air superiority, but at that stage, I think the Marines were more impactful. But anyway, we're going to end the game number 2, our final game of the evening on Dragon Scales in the top left-hand corner of the map. Our blue Terran player coming out from the land of China, representing IG. The brain man is XY.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of of Dragon Scales, representing Team ABYDOS, it is a Cure.
I'm really happy I managed to sneak in all those details with that, with that movement. It still physically hurts that I had to condense all that down to less than a minute long. But
for those who are unaware, and I'm sure maybe you've caught on a little bit, because again, Yaku hasn't been casting too much recently. So if you're a new viewer, maybe you don't know, but Yaku is infamous for his long intros. Infamous.
Are you suggesting that there are people who don't know who I am?
Well, they do now.
They do now.
Oh god! So yes, Yaku infamous for as long. There have been times where Yaku's been introing and the game's like ending because there's been a proxy going on. It's like, hey, we gotta wrap it up, Papi. Things are popping off, Papi. So that has happened in the past.
But I gotta let people know where we're spawning in from, Papi.
I gotta let them know that spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Ancient Cistern in the bottom right hand corner. We
yeah.
We gotta know. You're not wrong.
Yeah,
you're not wrong.
No, yeah.
It's important.
Otherwise, we gotta have that context,
Otherwise, who's
where
who?
our players from? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Who's who? What color are they?
Yeah, who's who?
Who is who? Who is who?
I was trying to trigger that memory to see if you could catch on to what I was saying. Oh my god.
Who's who?
Yeah.
Okay. Brother.
Oh my god. As we're popping up here in game number 2, the final game of the night. Again, ABYDOS have already secured their victory, but XY is looking to try and bring it back here. And, you know, it even happened in the last series, if you recall. Radko was able to prove himself against Shadown in that last game. So XY, he's still fighting his heart out.
Indeed he is. Indeed he is. Now, of course, you know, XY. If there was ever a player who I think has a shot against Cure to at least take a game, I would say it's XY. He is known for being probably the biggest brain in all of the Chinese scene.
Yeah, like
his mental is 100.
I was saying this earlier to Asher a couple of days ago when we were talking about Code A and how the big heavy hitters, the big teams in Code A. It wouldn't be the same if XY wasn't a part of Code S, because we wouldn't get to see his 10 in mental in the hexagons.
Yeah, that's pretty much been a staple, I think.
Meanwhile, Cure, he goes in with 3 Reapers, and already 5, 6, 7 SCVs, 8 SCVs are going to be going down. XY was completely out of position.
And that was only 2 or 3 Reapers, too, yeah. Yeah, that was only like 3 Reapers, yeah.
Yeah.
Look at worker disparity.
XY was trying to do some counter damage, but alas, he is forced away here. XY even went for a very conservative opener. We saw he made his CC on the high ground as well. He was trying to fake out his opponent, but Cure didn't take the bait. You know, he wasn't overly cautious about what he was seeing. He just went in anyway and did a crippling amount of damage.
Unironically, this early on, to be behind about 9 or 10 workers, it's still possible for XY to try to equalize some damage with the units that he's got, but it's like you said, he's may not literally be crippled, but in comparison to Cure, he might as well be.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of onus, a lot of pressure on this Banshee play from XY. He's got a cloak on the way. He's making a second Banshee as we speak. These Banshees, they got to do a lot of work. They got to do a lot of damage. Not just that, but here these units in the middle map of XY, they need to catch something. Whether it's this Cyclone and Hellion, that would be great. XY needs some good trades soon.
Up very, very soon. He does scan. He does see the third base on the way, so that's what the Banshees are going to be looking to target, is that SCV building that. But there's a Raven out right now for Cure. There is a Cyclone out as well.
Yeah, with the power of that Cyclone, this Banshee is not long for this world. It's going to slip in anyway. Cloak is done, and we're going to be able to pick off at least 1 SCV. How many more can we get?
Yeah, nice little bits of micro here coming out from XY. Really maximizing the DPS. The DPS of this one Banshee. He actually takes out 4 SCVs. That's a little bit of style from Cure. I don't know if disabling that Banshee was really necessary, but I guess you might as well.
Yeah, at the same time, here we go, XY. He's just sending everything up this ramp while Cure is a little bit distracted. XY wants to try and bum rush this natural base.
And it does give him, a little bit of an opportunity to get a foothold here right on this ramp, but unfortunately he's not going to be able to gain much ground beyond that. A lot more SCVs are going down. Cure, or XY I should say, is starting to even out the worker count.
Yeah, you know, the disparity isn't as large as it once was, but Cure still has a little momentum. He still has the worker lead. He was able to kill a tank as well, so Cure has the tank lead. And Cure is actually making 2 Liberators at a time. Soon, he is going to be the one across the map.
Yeah. Oh.
The Banshee comes in.
Yeah, he gets a little bit of a delay on some of these barracks and on that. It's been so long since I cast it, I literally forgot the name of the refinery.
Oh my god, it's been a while, Poppy. It's been a while. It's so good. It's so good. You know, the refinery does get delayed a little bit. We got 2 SCVs for that Banshee. It's something definitely for sure. And we do see XY, like he knows how much pressure is on him. He is rallying everything across the map. If there is ever a fight, he wants it to be on his terms. He wants the high ground advantage here, as Cure is looking to try and break this with his libs.
Oh man, yeah, with his libs, with his disables as well. The Liberators are still standing strong. Marines get completely wiped out. And now it's just 1 tank, and now it's just 0 tanks. I'm so surprised, honestly, that the Liberators survived.
Yeah, Liberator survived. I don't think Cure lost a tank in that fight. Like, that was like a clinical display of how to break and contain with Ravens, with Liberators. Cure just shuts it all down.
Yeah, I was gonna say slowly but surely, but yeah, GG is called in the end, and Cure will confirm a perfect 6-0 match here for Team ABYDOS. Clinical.
Wow. GG, well played. There's a reason why ABYDOS are one of the favorites in Code A, and why it was a surprise when they did get knocked down to that lower bracket as well. An unfortunate team to be going up against, for any team to be going up against, even Team Basilisk, to be honest. But congratulations to ABYDOS, and a shout out to Invictus Gaming for trying their hearts out here. They did put on a show. MacSed maybe the closest to taking his series against Nightmare, but again, you know, ABYDOS is just full of top tier players.
Oh yeah, from Creator to Cure to Nightmare, I really think that they brought out to SOS as well. Yeah, but I think tonight, especially, they really brought out the heavy hitters. They really knew how important this series was, and they didn't want to take any chances whatsoever. They've more than proved themselves as a fighting force and as a team that absolutely deserves to be in Code S.
Yeah, a team that can honestly do quite well in Code S, to be honest. Like, I think they're going to be one of the ones to look out for, definitely, as we are going to be looking at tomorrow's matches. We do see the upper bracket continuing. Team Basilisk going up against Starlight Twinkle. Team Basilisk, they've barely been touched throughout all of the qualifiers throughout Code A. They did drop a game against Invictus Gaming and against Platinum Heroes, but that's because they feel
that was they feel it Roddy against Goblin.
Yeah. So Team Basilisk, they've been known to bleed a little bit, and Starlight Twinkle has had a lot of momentum, but it is going to be a bit of a tough match for Starlight Twinkle. But a banger of a match nonetheless.
Yeah, absolutely going to be a banger of a match, because honestly, I believe in my boys. I believe in El Campeón, and I believe in Spirit, especially. If there was ever a player in in Code A who could really take it to Raynor and Cyril, I think it would be... I think Spirit against Raynor and Cham against Cyril would not necessarily be favored, but I think that would be a very, very close match. And I'm just going to say, there is a chance there. There is a chance for Cham to beat Cyril, and there is a chance for Spirit to beat Raynor.
Yeah. And hey, you know what? Maybe even Cyril or Raynor don't play, and Roddy goes in again.
Yeah. Roddy goes in, guns a-blazing. They revive Roddy for the ace match, you know?
Let's go.
And obviously, I mean, we're talking a lot about Raynor and Cyril, but let's not forget Trigger is the Canadian Starduck. He is a wild card. He is a very, very strong player, and one who I expect to get results in Code A and in Code S as well.
100%. You know, Trigger is what Starduck would be if he actually played StarCraft.
It wasn't a Deachan.
Oh my god. So yeah, that's going to be an insane series. Likewise, so is Platinum Heroes versus Team ABYDOS. Again, there's a lot of hype around ABYDOS, so it's still going to be a rough match for Platinum Heroes, but we believe in their ability to take some games and maybe take the series. As a reminder, all 4 of these teams have qualified for Code S, so they are playing for a better seed, and they're also playing for a decent amount of prize money as well. But I'm sure they're all breathing a sigh of relief knowing that they've made it to the next round.
Yeah. And that's really what, I wouldn't fault some of these teams or some of these players either to, now that they have qualified for Code S, to maybe take a little bit of a breath, a slight step back, because obviously they do have a lot going on outside of WTL. There are other events going on and, other things in their personal lives as well that they may have to think about in the short term. But yeah, there is still quite a lot on the line when it comes to seeding and when it comes to money, as you said.
100%. And with that, I want to thank everyone for tuning in today for this amazing day of World Team League, and this is going to be continuing on tomorrow as well. So if you want some more Team League action, for some more World Team League action, then be sure to follow us here on Twitch to be notified for when we go live. But before we go into shilling ourselves and talking about our social media, Yaku, it's been a while since you've casted here on the channel, mate.
Has been a while.
What's going on? Where can people find it?
Twitch.tv/Yakuzaku1. I don't think I'm going to be streaming next week, but 2 weeks from now, I'll try to do like a short stream 2 weeks from now, but 3 weeks from now, once we get to the last week of April, I am going to try to stream a lot more, because that'll be on break. That'll be on break till the middle of April, so yeah, you can find... pardon me. You can find me over there. You can also find me over at twitter.com at @EmporiaYakuzaku. If I don't stream, then yell at me over at Twitter. But more importantly, too, if I'm not streaming, it's probably because I'm working on something that I might announce over on Twitter as well. Apart from that, Discord, in the chat. I'm there. Light is there. Kuro is there. Everyone's there. Papi Asherbro is there. So if you want to find me or anybody else in the CranKy Ducklings, or some of our CranKy affiliates, like Migs, you can probably find us over there.
There you go. So we are all over that Discord server. We are also all over social medias, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. All of our VODs are uploaded to YouTube, and they are posted on a daily basis. So if you want some more StarCraft action, if you enjoy our casting and you want more of it, but you can't tune in live, then check out our YouTube channel, because everything is uploaded there eventually. And of course, you can follow me as well, light_VIP on Twitch and Twitter. I do stream throughout the week. I am currently, kind of diverting my attention between laddering StarCraft and also playing through Diablo 2. I did get inspired by the Diablo.
Yeah.
I got inspired by the Diablo 4 beta. I got the hooks are in me. I want some more, and I'm gonna get that fix. Yeah, I'm gonna get that fix by playing Diablo 2, and it's my first time playing as well. My first time. So yeah, we've had a lot of people coming in, tuning in, and it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. Oh, you've inspired me, Light.
Oh,
but that won't be for a while.
Oh, good. So you can follow me there, of course. When it comes to supporting our channel, you can either subscribe or you can check us out on Patreon. All of the money that we make on Patreon goes towards our events that we run. We are going to be hosting 3 regular tournaments. The first one was last night, which was Sparkling Tuna Cup, and the next one is tomorrow, which is Grand Platypus Open, a tournament restricted to the region of Oceania, China, Taiwan, Hong Kong, and Southeast Asia.
Yeah. Basically ESL Asia, or the ESL Asia region.
Yeah, the new EPT Asia region that has been assigned for the year. It is going to be for that region, so a bit of a smaller region overall, but our goal is to support some of the smaller regions. Likewise, we also have another tournament coming soon called the Tenacious Turtle Tussle, for reasons. It is named that, and it is for the regions that
Man.
we just mentioned, but also for America and Latin America.
Yeah. It's a Pacific Showdown, if you will.
There you go. There you go. So with that, I believe we are done for the night. Yaku, do you have anything you want to say before we head off for the night?
Brother! That's it.
Oh my god. Thanks for watching, everyone. We will see you guys tomorrow for some more WTL and for Grand Platypus Open.
I'll see you then. Bye.
Ciao.
Bella.